The waiting is finally over for Pack fans.
The Pack was trying to reach the Elite Eight. We'll have highlights and a reaction. Your news starts now.
Now, from the team you know and trust, this is KOLO News Channel 8 Tonight.
Lawrence Colwell was executed tonight in Carson City.
Fans packed local bars hoping to watch the Wolfpack win.
And they were on the edge of their seats as the Pack game went down to the wire with Georgia Tech. Good evening, everyone. I'm Terry Hendry.
And I'm Brent Boynton. Thanks for choosing us. The Wolfpack is tonight's KOLO News Channel 8 top story. It was a close game, and the Pack led much of it, but in the end, Georgia Tech came out on top. Brian Samudio and Josh Little join us now from St. Louis live. Guys, I suppose it was probably pretty somber in the Wolfpack locker room.
You know, Brent, you're not supposed to get attached to a story or attached to a team, but it was actually very difficult not to get attached to this team. Reno, Northern Nevada, fell in love with this squad and talked to them in the locker room. Very difficult. Georgia Tech, though, got the shots to fall. Nevada didn't.
You know what was surprising, too, is Georgia Tech is a guard-oriented team. B.J. Elder goes down 2 minutes into the game. It looked like it was destiny for Nevada, just like the first two games, the big guys out of the game. But it wasn't to be for the Pack today. Let's
show you some of the highlights early on in this one. The Pack did come out inspired here at the Edward Jones Dome. Jermaine Washington on the follow, but Pack up 5 at the break, second half. Georgia Tech got their groove. 3 after 3. Marvin Lewis, 4 of 9 from beyond the arc. 23 points for the guard. Pack's season is over. 72-67 is the final. Afterwards, the guys reflected on what they've done.
Can't describe how good it feels, but at the same time how bad it feels right now for us to end, how good it was, and then have it all end for me, T.O., and G. Hill. So it all ends for us, but this team has so much to look forward to the next couple of years,
Man, all I can say is thanks for all the support from the fans of Reno, man. It's been a long year for us, and it's been great just being around our guys, and it's going to be real hard to let some of them go, because they're seniors and everything. Really hard.
My freshman and sophomore years, we had a real good team, and I think this team, had something special. And I think we knew we'd go all the way, but, we just, something wasn't there today. Something wasn't there today. We just didn't bring it all today.
So the Pack finishes the season 25-9 overall. They make it to the Sweet 16. Nothing to hang their heads about. I think this is a team that's going to be in the top 25 poll at the end of the year.
That's right, and they've built a foundation for years to come. I mean, even losing these seniors are hard to replace. A lot of heart between the three guys. But you know what? They'll be back. I mean, they've built a great foundation. Trent Johnson is a great coach. So don't worry, Nevada fans. They will be back probably next year.
Exactly. We'll have more for you coming up later in sports. Brent and Terry.
Thank you. It was still an excellent season.
Well, the Pack's appearance in the Sweet 16 gave everyone a chance to show off their pride in this team. The IGT office in Reno was holding a raffle. Any employee wearing blue or Pack wear could enter to win Wolfpack pennants, pom-poms, T-shirts, and caps. And employees at the Albertsons on Plum and Lakeside happily donned silver and blue. The bakery even created special cakes and cookies to ensure a sweet victory tonight. And as the manager told us, enthusiastic employees make for enthusiastic customers. Well, the casinos were packed with fans, so were the local bars and restaurants. Karen Todd spent the game at the Little Waldorf Saloon, which is a favorite bar for Wolfpack fans close to the university. Karen, even though the Pack lost, they certainly didn't go down easy.
That's right, Terry. Pack fans were hoping for a win tonight, but they say this team had an amazing season. At 3:30, the wall was already full of Pack fans. By 5 p.m., the place was hopping.
We've been coming here since early 80s, so it's a long tradition.
I came down so I could get a good seat, get a T-shirt, and watch UNR beat Georgia Tech.
The Pack started the game strong and held on tight. It is now halftime and we're up by 5, and Nevada fans say we're going all the way for the win.
We're going to definitely win. Well, we've been playing really good in the low post, getting a lot of rebounds. We've been out rebounding Georgia Tech.
We've been underrated all season long.
as the team began to lose a bit of ground in the second half. Fans at the Wall were tense, but held on to hopes for a win.
If we'd have settled down and run our offense, get a good open shot, I think we'll pull it out.
We just need a run, we need a big three or a dunk, and the game's over.
At game's end, New Mexico transfer Chad Bell said the team had a good run and played a tough game, and he has high hopes for the future.
Things are only going to get better. I mean, we got a good team coming back next year with myself and good recruits. I mean, it's only going to be good things to happen for us.
And though fans are saddened by the loss, they're proud of their team.
This team was supposed to be awesome. They were supposed to be top ranked, and we gave them a game. We stayed so close all year long. We did awesome.
And fans say they won't have to wait another 19 years to see the team make history again. And there is no celebrating here at the Wall tonight, Terry, though some fans are drowning their sorrows.
Boy, but what a ride. It was a great season. Thank you, Karen.
We have more PAC news coming up in sports. A jury found last night that a woman had marijuana in her system the day she pulled in front of a motorcycle officer, causing a crash that killed him. Anna Marie Jackson now faces 2 to 20 years in prison on the felony charge of having a prohibited amount of an illegal substance in her system, causing a death. The jury deliberated 2 days before reaching its verdict. Lawrence Colwell Jr., the man who pleaded guilty to murdering a Las Vegas tourist in 1994, was put to death tonight at 9 o'clock at the Nevada State Prison in Carson City. Scott Burton from our Las Vegas affiliate, KTNV, joins us now from the prison. Scott, it almost sounded like Colwell was going to change his mind earlier tonight and ask for a stay of execution.
Fall out in a minute.
Hello, Scott.
The day began as Lawrence Colwell awoke and made a request.
He said, "Can you do me a favor?" We said, "Yeah." He said, "Can you contact the public defender's office? I want to see their representative." We said, "Yes."
It was the first indication that the execution may not go forward. His attorneys arrived by 3, but left with no announcement that the execution would be stopped. Things moved on as planned. Colwell's parents arrived at the prison shortly after 7.
Give peace to every heart.
The protesters gathered across the street by 7:30. It was then only an hour and a half to the scheduled execution time. Colwell's attorneys returned to the prison to see their client once more. They opened a letter from him stating the execution would go forward. And it did.
Mr. Colwell expired at 9:08. We asked him, did he want to say anything? And he said absolutely not. So he went through very quiet. Not really saying anything.
Lawrence Colwell kept his eyes closed during the execution, letting out a tiny puff of air shortly before his death. It was witnessed by his victim's son and daughter.
After 10 years of following this case from our homes in New York and New Jersey, and continuous trips to Nevada to face our dad's killer in court, today we feel that our family has justice.
Lawrence Colwell, executed by lethal injection, Friday, March 26, 2004. And it's tough to describe exactly how the whole process worked out here. It's such a personal event. It's a small witness chamber, and everybody's standing shoulder to shoulder. The one thing I can tell you is that Lawrence Colwell's death was much calmer than his victim's, Frank Rosenstein. In Carson City, I'm Scott Burton, KOLO News Channel 8.
Thank you, Scott. And for people who may not have realized it before, I understand you did witness that execution.
I did. We were in there. There were about 20 of us, and we were let in along with Attorney General Brian Sandoval, the district attorney from Clark County where the murders took place, and several other witnesses, including one of the governor's staff members, to witness the execution tonight.
All right. Thank you very much, Scott.
A local man arrested for lewdness with a minor will not be charged with the crime. 47-year-old Brian Hearn was accused of inappropriately touching a 9-year-old girl at an H&R Block office where he worked as a receptionist. The Washoe County District Attorney's Office says its investigation has not produced enough evidence to pursue charges against Hearn. Hearn has since quit his job at H&R Block.
Nevada has a new Supreme Court justice tonight. Governor Kenny Gwynn picked Chief Clark County District Judge Michael Douglas to fill the vacancy on the state's high court. He'll become the first African-American justice in the 140-year history of the Nevada Supreme Court. Douglas fills the vacancy caused by the recent death of Justice Myron Leavitt. The 56-year-old Douglas will serve until November, when voters will decide 3 high court contests. Douglas has already said he's planning on running for a full 6-year term.
Now, Dick Stoddard's quick look at the forecast from the First Alert Weather Center.
Good evening. Currently in the Truckee Meadows, under partly cloudy skies, a relatively cool 40 degrees. Other current temperatures right now, Gardnerville reporting 39, 37 at McDermott, and Incline Village 28. Winds are calm. They'll remain so through the weekend as we look forward to a warming trend for tomorrow. Starting off at a chilly 32, sunrise for your Saturday will warm up to 61, 70 by Sunday. Monday looks to be the warmest day, 75 or warmer. We'll tell you why, give you a complete outlook for the weekend and beyond in a few minutes. Stay tuned, weather straight ahead.
Thank you, Dick. The fist for flying in the Nicaraguan Congress still to come. What led to that fight?
An F-18 catches on fire as the pilot tries to take off in North Carolina.
Okay, you have to.
In Medical Minutes, Terry Russell will show us one of the most popular and fastest growing classes at the Sparks YMCA.
But first, Dick will be back with a look at the weekend.
You're watching the team you know and trust. Brent Boynton, Terry Henry, weather with Dick Stoddard, and Brian Samudio on sports. This is KOLO News Channel 8 tonight. Closed captioning is brought to you by Northern Nevada Medical Center. In an emergency, trust your family's care to the hospital with a 15-minute ER guarantee. Northern Nevada Medical Center.
Enter the ageless future with Perfectionist, an anti-aging discovery from Estee Lauder. Fast, gentle, retinol-free. Day 1, fine, dry lines are reduced. Week 1, deep lines look lifted away. Month 1, the future is ageless. Perfectionist, correcting serum for lines and wrinkles. It's gift time. 7 must-haves with color choice and silky cosmetic bag. Free with any $23.50 Estee Lauder purchase. Through April 10th exclusively at Gottschalk's.
This portion of News Channel 8 is brought to you by Lexus of Reno. KOLO News Channel 8 continues with Dick Stoddard's First Alert Weather.
Well, if you want warmer temperatures, you've got them starting tomorrow. As we take a look, though, at the current satellite picture, we see still there is some precipitation activity taking place in extreme northern California. More on that in a minute. Starting off Saturday morning at 32, that's a little cold. 61, we'll enjoy that. The 70 on Sunday will be even better, and 75 for Monday. As we take a look at close-up of that precipitation, it's pretty much north of San Francisco. It's up around Eureka and the Crescent City area. It extends all the way up the coastline. None of that will reach the Lake Tahoe area, let alone the Truckee Meadows. Highs today. Stead reporting 48 and Susanville 45. Hawthorne was at 58 today and Bishop 68. They'll be over 70 for tomorrow and the weekend. Elko was 47 today, and it was a cool 53 up in Winnemucca, 57 for Fallon and Tonopah. Up around the lake, cold morning lows, 17 Incline, 19 Tahoe City. They'll be about the same tomorrow morning, if not colder. Our 52 here at the station was a little on the cool side. The official high for today, 53 over at the airport. So the average high of 59. We'll go above that tomorrow, and then we'll really go above it for Sunday and Monday. There's your Saturday, 32 to 61, a little bit warmer. We're talking about daytime highs. Morning lows are still going to be cold. Carson Valley will go from 30 to 60, even, well, colder yet up at the lake. At least they'll be out of the teens, low 20s for their lows. High tomorrow of about 50, so it's still going to be a cool day. Winds will be calm for the most part out of the west. Tomorrow, Gardnerville, you go from 29, 62. Washoe Valley, not as windy. You'll enjoy 61 in the afternoon. North Valleys, you're going to be cold overnight. Could be close to 24 for morning lows. You're going to be below the freeze mark. Your highs tomorrow, though, comfortable, close to 60. That'll be nice. So as we take a look at it for the lake tomorrow, cold start to the day, low 20s. Daytime highs will struggle to make it to 50. We'll see more sunshine tomorrow than we did today. That is good news. And you're going to really love Sunday and Monday. Nice big jump in daytime highs, way up into the mid-70s, which is a big difference from the low 50s. And coming up here in the 5-day, you'll see a little bit of a cool down next week, but we don't have any significant storm out there in the 5-day forecast, nor beyond. So it's going to be quiet for the rest of March. And there's our 5-day outlook, and I think the bottom line pretty much says it all for this Friday.
Amen. Pride of Reno.
Thank you, Dick. Do you think the lines are long at the airport? Still ahead, why they could be even longer the next time you fly.
And a Navy training exercise takes a dangerous turn. Stay tuned. More news is next.
When you see news happen, call the team you know and trust on your AT&T wireless phone. Just dial pound 888, a service of AT&T Wireless and KOLO News Channel 8.
The incredibly agile sport-tuned IS. It gives new meaning to owning the road. See Lexus of Reno.
The wait is over. A Navy F-18, let me try that again. A Navy F-18 fighter jet caught fire as the pilot was trying to take off today.
And that story tops our look at news making headlines around the nation. The pilot ejected and the burning plane kept rolling, finally coming to a stop just 250 feet from a passenger terminal at Raleigh-Durham's airport. The pilot is hospitalized, but he is in good condition. He was stationed at Oceana Naval Air Station in Virginia.
As the weather gets warmer, more of us travel, but many air passengers are bound to find their plans complicated by delays. One reason is there aren't enough qualified baggage screeners. After September 11th, Congress passed legislation requiring national airports be staffed with federal security workers. The Homeland Security Department says it's working to make sure each airport has enough staff to avoid excessive delays.
Topping our look at stories making headlines around the world tonight, nationally televised fistfights erupted in the Nicaraguan National Congress yesterday. This fight apparently broke out when a group sympathizing with the governing Constitutionalist Liberal Party attacked a group of Sandinista judges who had come to oppose a reform bill. The country's judicial system, as you can see, is highly politicized, with the two main parties splitting the appointment of judges.
U.S. forces raided a building in Bakuba today, north of Baghdad. After receiving information, it was used to store weapons. Troops searched the abandoned building but found no weapons. At least 7 people were killed. Also in Iraq today, U.S. Marines and gunmen fought an hour-long battle that left 5 Iraqis and 1 Marine dead and 6 wounded. That fighting occurred in Fallujah in the Sunni Triangle, where support for Saddam Hussein was strong, and rebels often carry out attacks against American forces. After the battle, Marines continued to patrol on foot and blocked the city's entrance.
It was a day of destruction and death in the Middle East today. A Palestinian militant was killed when the car he was driving exploded in a West Bank refugee camp in Nablus. And several thousand people also attended a rally where Hamas militants burned a model of an Israeli bus and paraded weapons. Meanwhile, in Gaza, 2 armed Palestinians emerged from the Mediterranean and fired toward a beachfront Israeli settlement before being killed by Israeli troops in a gun battle.
When you think of exercise, you probably think of sweating. Coming up, this workout is different in more ways than one.
And we'll hear from Brian and Josh from St. Louis with more about the Pac's tough game against Georgia Tech.
But first, here are tonight's winning lottery numbers: 12, 23, 28, 30, and 37. Tonight's Fantasy 5 jackpot is $110,000. We'll be right back.
Celebrate Cal Neva's 42nd birthday and win your share of over $50,000 in cash, prizes, and 42-inch plasma home theater systems. It's 42 days of party.
Club Cal Neva, Reno's best band.
Medical Minutes on News Channel 8 is brought to you by Washoe Medical Center.
A new HIV test without needles that produces fast results will soon be available in the United States. Health and Human Services Secretary Tommy Thompson has announced government approval for a new HIV testing kit called OraQuick. It is the first AIDS test that uses a treated cotton swab along the gums to screen for HIV antibodies. Health professionals stick the swab into a special testing device for on-the-spot results. This is the second rapid HIV test on the market, but the first bloodless one. The other requires pricking a person's finger.
Many of us like to take up a hobby that releases stress and helps us think more clearly.
That may mean physical activity that makes us sweat. Tonight, Medical Minutes, Terry Russell shows us one popular pastime where the goal is to never let them see you sweat.
You're watching the most popular and fastest growing class here at the Sparks YMCA. There is no huffing and puffing, no fat burning, no calorie counting. The 2-hour class is dedicated to Ii-Jitsu, the 450-year-old tradition of the Japanese sword. Jeff Black has been studying martial arts since 1967. He started here about a year and a half ago with the belief there is always something new to learn.
Just a little light bulb goes on for a minute or two, or maybe 20 minutes if you're lucky. And you just kind of enjoy that happening. You don't strive for it because it doesn't happen all the time. But, you know, you take it and say, wow, thank you, and then just continue training.
The class is made up of mostly men, but there are a couple of women who attend the weekly classes. Students start out with a wooden sword and then advance, if they choose to a non-sharpened aluminum version. The instructor here says movies like this, The Last Samurai, brings people to his class, the only one of its kind in Nevada. But what keeps them here is the tradition and the concept that there's more to this martial art than just fighting.
Some of the best swordsmen in Japanese history strictly stated that the best sword ever used was the one that was never drawn. Our goal is to never do what we do. The training that we do puts us in a frame of mind that makes us ever capable to accept those crucial 2 seconds of life or death decision making.
The Sparks YMCA has a special offer. The first class is free and the month after is half price. Organizers here say every student who has participated has become full-time. With Medical Minutes, Terry Russell, KOLO News Channel 8.
It was great while it lasted, but the ride is over.
The Pack couldn't catch a break tonight. Brian and Josh are next with highlights and more.
This portion of News Channel 8 is brought to you by American Family Insurance. All your protection under one roof.
The Wolfpack headed into the Sweet 16 riding a 9-game winning streak.
But tonight things did not go as planned. Brian and Josh are in St. Louis now. Guys, it really was a tough way to end the season.
Yeah, but at the same time, Brent and Terry, these guys have nothing to be ashamed of. Nevada went 25-9 on the year, beat a pair of ranked teams late in the year. I mean, this is a team that has put Nevada basketball on the map.
They really have, and like you said, they beat a pair of ranked teams just this last week. They beat 3 ranked teams on the year, 2 ranked in the top 6. So obviously it stings right now, but give it a couple weeks, these guys will realize what they accomplished, and Reno as a city should be really proud of this team right now.
Guys came out hot tonight. Let's go to the highlights. Todd Okeson starting the party early. Down the lane, Todd Teo, acrobatic lay-in and the foul pack by 5. A little later, off the miss, watch Jermaine Washington soaring in, pack by 5 at the break. Second half, Nevada came out ice cold. I've never seen them shoot this bad. Missing 15 of their first 17 shots. There was a lid on the hoop. But Nevada did not quit. Kevin Pinkney with the gem, but the backbreaker tonight, Marvin Lewis. 3s on back-to-back possessions, knocks it down. Nevada never recovered. They made a run, but couldn't do it. 72-67. After the game, the guys in the locker room obviously disappointed.
Looking back on it, I'm sure within a week or 2 or so, when all of us see each other on campus or whatever, I mean, we'll just look at it and say, wow, I mean, how'd we do that or whatever, and I mean, it was a wonderful season, and I mean, you really can't take anything away from us.
Man, I can't believe it's over, but I mean, it was fun while it lasted, you know. All good things come to an end someday. It's too bad that it had to come tonight.
Yeah, there's nothing we'll, hang our head about. I think all of us are going to walk out of here tonight, feeling good about the season. A lot of teams, lose their last game, so we're not that bad off.
Yeah. Anytime you're around a group of guys and you, excuse me, anytime you're around a group of guys and you do something for the first time, it's special. It really is.
Obviously very, very emotional in the locker room afterwards. Trent Johnson, he's very attached to these guys, as most basketball coaches are, any coach is. He just becomes a father figure to these guys. Nevada loses 3 seniors, Todd Okeson, Gary Hill-Thomas, and the Elko grad Sean Paul, and possibly a 4th player in Kirk Snyder. Does Kirk Snyder now go pro?
That's a good question, and hopefully he stays, because they're gonna be a very good team next year. The key is Trent Johnson coming back. He's already been quoted saying he doesn't want it to be a one-time deal. That is big for Nevada. And you know what? The hardest thing about losing these 3 seniors is not replacing the talent; it's replacing the heart. These guys, full of heart. It's gonna be tough to see him go.
This was a pretty special team, and we will be in contact with Kirk Snyder over the next few days when he is expected to make his decision. As soon as we know, you will know. But history made this year. The season is done, but 25-9, not something to sneeze at. It's been a lot of fun, Brent and Terry. It's been a great roller coaster ride for us. We're riding back on the charter with the team tomorrow. We should arrive in Reno sometime around noon at Reno Tahoe International Airport.
Well, they are heroes, and we hope they get a hero's welcome.
Thank you, guys.
I hope so. They deserve it. They deserve it.
They sure do. And we'll be right back.
KOLO News Channel 8's coverage of the Wolfpack at the NCAA tournament in St. Louis is brought to you by your Northern Nevada Les Schwab Tire Centers.
We have 3 children. Jade, our oldest, is 13.
Jade gets very embarrassed when I hug her in front of her friends.
Connor is 4.
Connor is all boy.
He's all boy. We just adopted a little girl. Jenna is 16 months.
Life insurance and college. Would you like to talk about it? Life insurance is a peace of mind. College is
a piece of money.
A piece of money.
American Family Insurance.
This portion of News Channel 8 is brought to you by Bill Pierce Motors.
Finally tonight, sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. Alan Burns was enjoying an early start to his weekend getaway at a resort in Central Florida. Yesterday, he was sitting by the swimming pool reading a book when suddenly a woman started screaming. Burns looked up and saw a toddler hanging from a railing on a walkway 2 stories up. He ran to the spot right under the railing, and the 2-year-old girl let go, falling straight down. Burns caught her, and they both fell into a bush. Just a bump and some scratches. The little girl's okay, and a few people in Kissimmee, Florida can tell you about miracles.
I'll bet. Our next newscast is KOLO News Channel 8 with Jennifer Burton tomorrow at 6:30. Until then, stay informed of what's going on at home and around the world by logging onto our website. Have a great weekend.
Good night.
I got a